Welcome to Protea Live. My name is Zane Stevens. I'm the founder of Protea Financial. And I'm back in California after a whirlwind trip to Oregon. 2 quick days, with the main focus being there for the Oregon Wine Symposium, though day 2 of the symposium is still going on today. Probably just kicked off a couple of minutes ago, and it goes through about midday. A lot of good educational sessions out there still today, specifically from 11 till 12 on the business and finance track, where you could see a lot of really smart M&A people, as well as Ashley from Innovant and Pedro Noyola, who's another outsourced bookkeeper for the wine industry. He does food and wine and a great resource for people as well. They're based out in Napa. I'm a little tired. I got in last night at 11:11, and oh yes, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. But I got in at 11:11 last night, and then I was up at 4:55 to get going again for my normal day. So you can see the bags. You can see I'm looking a little bit tired, maybe a little pale. But it was a great trip. As I mentioned to you guys, Monday was a super busy and productive day with meetings with different CPAs and bankers, and I really enjoyed that time. But yesterday was the main event. It was the Oregon Wine Symposium, and both myself and Wiley Warner, who's our account manager based out of Walla Walla, had a very productive day. We did a lot of stuff together, and then we separated as well and got a few things done. And between the state of the industry, which was very interesting, a lot of repetition from what was said in California, but there was some good focus in on Oregon. And I will be sharing an article on that. I kept extensive notes, and I'll putting that article out maybe this Saturday. I will see how things pan out for the rest of the week. I do have a ton of calls, but I would like to share what I thought of the state of the industry. Will be a lot of repetition from Unified and what they said in California, because the industry in whole is sort of facing the same challenges, but a lot of good snippets and insights specific to the Oregon space. I did spend a lot of time in the trade show, and I will spend a lot of time talking about that, but I did want to go say the educational opportunities out there for the different tracks is very, very good. The speakers were all amazing. I only went to one main session, which was on distribution and the focus on what's sort of happening in there. Obviously, we know it's like general consensus the wine industry is struggling, and most of that is driven by distribution. A couple of positives, though. On-premise is coming back. It is still not at the pre-pandemic levels, but it is showing growth. Good news is that most of the distributors have gotten their inventory holdings under control, though with the increased cost of holding inventory, they are very nervous to take on inventory. So you're probably not going to see the same buying and distribution as before. For the Oregon market in specifics, it's a big focus on distribution at the moment. They've seen that that's an easier sell, especially in that price point of $11 to $25, where there's a lot of Pinot Gris coming out of Oregon that fits that bill. The Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, maybe not so much, but there's markets for those as well. So it was a very good quality session. It was a great session afterwards. I had a great opportunity to bump into Eric McLaughlin of Metis. He's a great M&A option out in the Washington Pacific Northwest area, specifically with those people who have the land attached to their project. He's a fantastic option, as well as to bump into some of the Mars Adams people, Ted Graff out here from California, head of their business development, and a couple of the other resources out of the Portland office, which was nice to meet them in person. So just a very productive session. And like I mentioned, a really good business track session this afternoon where Eric will be a speaker. So very much worthwhile. If you are still at Oregon Wine Symposium on February 14th, 2024, go and check out that session. Well worth your time. I know Wiley will be at that session later today. But really, what I particularly like about the Oregon Wine Symposium is that it's a lot smaller than Unified. And though Unified creates a lot of opportunities for networking, I was able to have way more in-depth conversations that really mattered, and conversations where I could actually talk about wine and the effects that this current climate is having on them and what we're seeing from our clients. I started the morning with actually surprisingly a fantastic phone call with Rob McMillan, and most of you guys will know Rob McMillan from the SVB Wine Industry Report. And Rob, he knows the space. He's done a lot for the space over a lot of the years, and I have never really been able to get a good relationship with him, but a very positive 15-minute conversation with him. And generally, I had great conversations with the SVB folks as well. I had a conversation with Mark Frewen, who his return to SVB in a business development role. Um, I am very fond of Mark. I think he's an amazing person, and he does a lot of wonderful things for the wine industry. So just two extremely positive, uh, you know, one-on-one conversations during the day with the SVB Bank, and that's after spending some good time with them the day before as well. They continue to be a really good partner. I know they're the ones who sort of created the banking issue, and can sometimes for a lot of people feel like, oh my gosh, why would I take my money there? But obviously they were supported by the government. They were both bought by First Citizen, and they're in a better place than they've ever been. And they've always represented a fairly large percentage of our clients, normally in the 20 to 30% range of our clients bank with SVB. It's probably around 25% at the moment, maybe a little bit less. But it honestly is one of the best options right now. If you're a winery and your current bank is struggling or don't want to renew a line of credit or increasing terms, it's definitely worthwhile to reach out to them. Reach out to me. I can put you in contact with them. There's a lot of great people that I deal with on a regular basis, and they're a great option for wineries, alcohol, beverage, businesses in general. But the wine industry guys are the guys I know specifically well, and they're very smart. They're well informed. They have a passion for the industry, and they want to help. One of the standouts, though, was that there was a lack of banks. There were some lenders, but there were only two banks represented on the floor at the trade show, and that being Silicon Valley Bank, SVB, as well as Omkwa. And I really appreciate the conversations I had with Omkwa. They've gone through a bit of a transition with the merger with Columbia Bank, and there's only been, some bad news coming out of there, but they can remain committed to the wine industry. They remain committed to the Pacific Northwest and California. And I think they're going to be a good option. I'm hoping to extend the conversations I had on the floor to some extended meetings with them. And I'm hoping that will flourish and have an opportunity for us to develop a relationship again. I've had them with them on and off, but they have had a lot of turnover in the past few years. But it looks like they're trying to build some stability with the team, which is positive. And they were out there. It means they're active and they're willing to lend. They can't say that for a lot of banks. They're not at one of these industry events like this, where there's opportunity to meet with pretty much all wineries and growers. It's tough. So Omkwa and SVB, I'll be having some deeper conversations with you guys. Seem like great options for our clients at the moment. Ag West was there as well. Always a great option. I've got a good relationship with American Ag Credit here in California. Ag West supports the Pacific Northwest and into Idaho. A little bit of Central Coast as well. So good conversations there, some positive conversations. The biggest takeaway is that we're going to be introduced to their team member up in Walla Walla. So Wiley will be able to meet with them, hopefully develop a relationship as opportunity for our clients out there, as well as looking at opportunities for growth in that region where we believe we can make a big difference by helping some of those wineries be more successful through good accounting as well as good inventory costing, which we know the costing side specifically is a bit of a shortfall. So there is another good option out in Washington right now. Hey, Rachel Smith is doing a great job up there with Northwest Accounting, and just a very, very good option for everybody. Another standout for me is that there were only two insurance companies out there representing and trying to, I guess, garner new clients or at least meet with their current clients. It's another worrying trend. I'm struggling to find places for people to bank or get lines of credit. Insurance is even harder. Now, California is particularly tricky because there are a lot of non-renewals. There's a lot of carriers pulling out of the state because of legislation. So it's hard in California, but it would seem from the representation at this symposium that insurance might be a problem up there as well. I think insurance in general is going to be a problem. Insurance is supposed to be this like protecting thing that you put in place to help you when things go bad. But it's become obviously more and more clear through my career that insurance cares about nobody but themselves. They care about their stakeholders and they make money. They don't care about you as a client. And that's just a reality. Now, there are a lot of great brokers out there, people representing you with the insurance carriers, and those people are amazing. There's a lot of good insurance agents, brokers, people, but the companies themselves don't care. Brokers care, companies don't. So this is a big, big request to anybody out there. Please, 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 please find yourself a good broker. I know a bunch of them. Risk Strategies is one of our favorite to work with. Use them. Brokers are there to represent your best interest and try to get you the best deal for the coverage that you need. Trust people, not companies. Go find yourself a good broker. Just bumped into a lot of good people out there, a lot of good conversations, some conversations with, three of the biggest CPA firms that are represented in the Pacific Northwest, being Moss Adams, good conversations there. Irvine, some developing relationships there, which is really nice. We've worked with them on and off for 10 years, but never had deep relationships. And that's just because, Oregon market is smaller, where they've got a big coverage of. And then Perkins. And Perkins, they've always been a great partner, working with them. Very good option if you're in Oregon, Pacific Northwest. So thank you to all three of those for your time. I really do appreciate what that was. As you can hear, trade floor was the place to be. I bumped into so many great people, including, Allen Wine Group is out there, another great option for the wine industry. Pedro Nayolo, who is an option out in Napa for food and wine, a great option. Bumped into him, had a nice conversation with him. Good luck with your presentation today, Pedro. I'm sure it'll go well. It was a good trip. It was 2 days, 350 on Monday through to 11:11 on Tuesday. I'm tired, but it was totally worth it. Whirlwind trip, great networking, great to spend some extended time with Wiley, great to get in front of people. Shout out to the Innovent crew. Spent some time with them as well. They're doing great work. I love the inventory tracking and costing module that they've created. We're looking forward to using it more within our company to try and improve efficiency and reduce our bills to our clients. So well done to them. Looking forward to working more with them. Oregon Wine Symposium for me was a success. Even if I don't get a single piece of business walking away from it, it was a good quality time. Spread the name, tell people who we are, meet new people, reacquaint ourselves with old friends. First time I've been up there since 2019. Totally worth my time. If you're up in the Pacific Northwest or you're a vendor servicing that area, you have to go to the Oregon Wine Symposium in 2025. Well worth your time, and I highly recommend it. My next conference is in late March. That'll be Central Coast Insight. I'll do some more live videos from that point. But until then, have a great day. Happy Valentine's Day, and be kind.